Clemson, 4-2 Clemson at 4-2 Miami. Maybe I should reframe that presentation this way. Unranked Clemson at unranked Miami. Miami now with 2 back-to-back losses against Georgia Tech and at North Carolina. Clemson with losses to Duke and Florida State. Why am I talking about this one? Because when it's over, we're going to be talking about the loser. We're not going to be talking about the winner, because the winner is going to come out of this 5-2, and that whole conversation is just going to kind of disappear. Whoever it is, if it's Clemson, it's like, all right, good. They're doing what they should be doing. Cade Klubnik did what he's supposed to be doing. It kind of is what it is. Clemson, blah, whatever. If Miami does it, it's going to sound something like good for Miami. They got that Tech taste out of their mouth. They got the UNC taste out of their mouth. And hey, don't get me wrong. UNC is a playoff team. They're that good. They are that good. All right. But your narrative is going to surround the loser, because your loser is going to be staring at 4-3. And if it's Dabo, who's now 4-3, after traveling to Miami, where there's 7 fans in the stadium, and you lose this game on what is arguably a better roster, who you've basically treated them as baby food when you've played them in the past. 4-3 Clemson, with games at NC State, home against Notre Dame, home against Tech. Say what you want to about Georgia Tech. Say what you want to. You still got to host North Carolina after that and travel to what is going to be a wild, and I say wild in the sense of unknown, South Carolina team. Maybe a Shane Beamerless South Carolina team. You know how those teams play when they let go of their head coach and somebody else steps in, man. They're scrappy in those rival games. They're scrappy. Dabo, fans are going to be pissed if he loses this game. Pissed. I would be. You mean to tell me, Dabo Swinney, you have recruited like this for this extended period of time, and you've brought in a blue chip recruit in Cade Klubnik, and you go to Miami, who just lost to Tech, Georgia Tech, in embarrassing fashion. You're going to this is your opportunity. Clemson, you need this game. You need this. I'm not saying it's a must win, but you need this game to keep yourself in ACC respectable conversation. I'm not saying to win the conference. You're not winning the conference. You are not winning the conference. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying to keep your name and your brand respectable. It would be different. It'd be a whole lot different if Miami didn't have this embarrassing loss and wasn't coming off another loss against UNC. You'd be looking at Miami differently and say, it's a good Miami team, which they are good. They are good. They are good. They're just not you. I think you're far better. I think Mario Cristobal is going to continue to do well. I don't know if he's the long-term guy. It's starting to feel to me a lot like Scott Frost at Nebraska. Whatever. Miami, let's say you lose this game. You're at 4-3. You're now on a 3-game losing streak that Georgia Tech started. If you lose this game, people are still going to be talking about your Georgia Tech loss and the way that you did it, because the streak began with them. It began with them. This game is Saturday night, 8 o'clock in Miami. And as far as fan attendance to go, I don't know that you'll know the difference between noon and 8 o'clock. Miami, you got to have this one. You got to have this one. You could argue and say that this is a must-win. You could argue that. It's a bad narrative if you lose it. It's not a good sign if you lose it. We're talking about this one because the loser of this game is who we're going to be talking about when it's over. And I cannot wait. Cannot wait to see the outcome of this. I'll be in Tuscaloosa. Won't be able to watch it. All right. Nonetheless, Miami, after you host Clemson, you're going to turn around and host Virginia, who's so bad. Virginia is worse than a handful of Group 5 schools. All right. I believe that Austin Peay could beat Virginia. You're going to host Virginia. You're going to travel to NC State, who's trying to get their footing. All right. You're going to travel to Florida State, where you're at this rate, you're going to get slapped. I mean, Florida State at home, top 5 team in the country, might get slapped. You're going to host Louisville, who's playing really, really well, top 25 team in the country, 6-1. Then you're going to travel to Boston College. You need this one. I don't think you need it for bowl eligibility or thing like that. You just need it for getting that taste out of your mouth and the narrative that's going to surround you when it's all said and done. All right, so when it's all said and done, here's what we got. ESPN FBI likes Clemson at 52.5%. The spread is in Clemson's favor at -3. The over-under is set to 48.5. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under. How else can I say this? I'm going to take the under. I think 48.5 is really high. I think it's really high. Call me crazy. Call me stupid. Whatever. I mean, because you could come back and you say, but Tyler Van Dyke, man, he's a good quarterback. He is. 16 touchdowns, 6 picks, 1,700 yards. Cade Klubnik, man, he's going to get his. 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns, 2 picks. Will Shipley, he's going to eat. Henry Parrish, he's going to get his. I mean, yeah, I guess, maybe. I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under. I think this one is going to be defensive domination because offenses struggle. I think the defenses on both sides are going to have a big impact in this one. I like Clemson's defense more than I like Miami's defense, so that is why I'm going to give the nod to Clemson. I'm going to take the Tigers to the tune of 24 to Miami 16. Miami's going to do this thing where they come out and they'll find an early score. All right, they'll find one to Restrepo or some kind of slip to Henry Parrish, whatever, and they'll go for 2. They'll get it. They'll have momentum, right? They'll go back and forth with Clemson. They'll do another. They'll do it again. Find the end zone. Another 2-point conversion. And then Clemson flips a switch. I think Dabo gets it right. I trust Dabo more than I do Crystal Ball. Just fact of the matter. Just fact of the matter. Give me Clemson over the Hurricanes in Miami, doing more than covering the spread, winning this game outright. Clemson 24, Miami 16.
Pandemonium reigns.